My name is Sydney Stevens, and today I will be presenting the female Quixotism novel presentation. Let's begin. About the author. Her name is Tabitha Gilman Tenney. She was born April 7th, 1762, and died May 2nd, 1837, in Exeter, New Hampshire. She was born to the socially prominent Samuel and Lydia Robinson Giddings Gilman, and her education life was little to any education, but she trained in fashion and household management. She also stayed at home for several years to take care of her mother after the death of her father. A continuation about the author. Right here, you will see her husband, Samuel Tenney. Um, her and Samuel, they began to work together in courtship in 1785. Samuel was a doctor and a patriot who served in the American Revolution. They waited in 1788, 3 years after they met and worked together, when he was 40 and she was 26. But to many people during the late 18th centuries, that was considered a little too late. They had no children, and they spent most of their life in Washington, D.C., where Samuel Tenney served on Congress for 7 years, 1800 to the 1807s. About the book. So, the short version title of the book is called Female Quixotism. But the long version is Female Quixotism Exhibited in the Romantic Opinions and Extravagant Adventures of Dorcasina Sheldon. The author, of course, is Tabitha Gilman Tenney. The publisher, J.P. Peasley. And the copyright date is 1825, even though it was published in 1801. And according to Tenney, it was dedicated to, quote unquote, to all Colombian young ladies who read novels and romances. So, a quick summary. It took place in a fictional village in Pennsylvania. Dorcas Sheldon is the main character, but she identifies herself as Dorcasina Sheldon. Just gives her a more romantic appeal. Dorcasina set off on a quixotic quest to find herself a love, as she portrayed in many of her English novels that she loved. Um, she was supposed to marry Lysander, her first suitor, but she rejected him. Each journey she went on ended with her being old, and it was like a misadventure because she was put under a spell. She was in an illusion and she had to get out of it, but soon she basically confessed her love to Mrs. Barry at the end. So, for the main characters within the book that I had noticed were Dorcasina Sheldon, Lysander, Betty, and Mr. Sheldon. Of course, Dorcasina is the main character. She is a hapless heroine of romance and basically could not make a difference of her life and her fantasies. Lysander, as stated before, was Dorcasina's first suitor. Um, he was the man she was supposed to marry, but she didn't. Betty is the faithful maid and best friend of Dorcasina. She has truthfully and um honorably, I guess you would say, helped her relive Dorcasina's fantasies, her wildest fantasies. And of course, Mr. Sheldon is Dorcasina's father, who is presented within the book everywhere. He is her only parent left, so he takes care of her. Yes. Um. So right here we have the conflict of the story where Dorcasina escapes wedding a man that she really doesn't see herself with. She tests her fortune, and she's being neglected by every man who has found a fascination with her. The solution to her conflicts is Dorcasina found happiness within herself. She prevented herself from being a burden in her own life, and she seemed better off without a companion slash significant other. Yes. And right here you see a quote. Some historical and cultural economic eras. This book was brought up within the end of the Age of Enlightenment and the beginning of the Romantic Age, but it focused more on the Romantic Age because Dorcasina had her imaginations and her fantasies that she really just wanted to come true. She tried to find the love of her life, basically, and each one showed how passionate they were about her, but she still knew her worth. Themes and symbols that popped up within the book. Some themes: romantic abuse, neglect, deception of love by the people within her court, distressed lovers, and then another thing that was wildly abroad within the book is that each lover had their own section. Some symbols: a satire on literary taste and expression of American intellectual independence. Another symbol was the love letters to P. O'Connor. Not only did he receive love letters, but basically between Dorcasina and every lover within the book, every male, they all sent out love letters within each other. And then another symbol would be marriage because she is looking for love. Here goes a picture that was found within the book. It is Dorcasina going to visit O'Connor at the end. Here goes another one. This is a picture portrayed within the book as well that took place in Boston. The book's main message is to pursue your love life the way you want, even if it's a part of a fantasy. You always want to try and live something, even if it's not real. You always want it to feel real. So I think it was just best that this would be the main message. And the review of the book, I would highly recommend this book. It just brought something out of me that I really enjoyed, which is romance, because most of the book, like, it just related to me in some way, shape, or form. Like, it just shows how romance can really get you messed up in the head, I would say. You never know who is playing you or who is trying to, like, take advantage of you for say. But honestly, I would recommend this book to anyone. It is a good romance novel. Really enjoyed it. I would look forward to rereading it again. And everybody should take the time out of their days to read this book. And yes, thank you. I hope you enjoyed this presentation.